This meeting of May 20th, 2020 is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law and was included in a list of meetings notice transmitted to the Two River Times and the Asbury Park Press and posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and the borough website on May 18, 2020. The meeting notice has remained continuously posted as required notices under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file at the office of the municipal clerk. Official action may be taken at this meeting. Proper notice having been given, the municipal clerk is directed to include this statement in the minutes of the meeting. Members, please be advised that due to the current state of emergency and public health emergency and pursuant to executive order to prevent further spread of COVID-19, the general public will be excluded from borough council meetings until further notice. The public will be able to participate in all borough council meetings by telephone bridge. Members of the public will be able to give public comment during relevant portions of the meeting. Please mute your phones. I'll call the roll for council. Councilmember Braswell?
Here.
Councilmember Mazzola?
Here.
Councilmember Valkos?
Here.
Council President Ryan?
Here.
Mayor Brion?
Here.
A quorum is formed. Do I have a motion to go to executive session?
I will make that motion.
Mayor Brion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Council President Ryan, all in favor?
Aye.
All are in favor, so ordered. We are entering executive session at 7:03. Please call into the executive session phone booth. Thank you. This meeting of May 20, 2020 is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Law and was included in a list of meetings transmitted to the Two River Times and the Asbury Park Press and posted in the bulletin board in the municipal building and on the borough website on May 18, 2020. The meeting notices remain continuously posted as the required notices under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. Official action may be taken at this meeting. Proper notice having been given, the municipal clerk is directed to include this statement in the minutes of his meeting. Please be advised that due to the current state of emergency and public health emergency and pursuant to executive order to prevent further spread of COVID-19, the general public will be excluded from borough council meetings until further notice. The public will be able to participate in all borough council meetings by telephone bridge. Members of the public will be able to give public comment during relevant portions of the meeting. Please mute your phones. All rise to the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
United States of America
and to the
republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Here.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Here.
Councilmember Valkos.
Here.
Mayor Brion.
Here.
And Councilmember Ryan has let us know that she will. Council President Ryan will not be here this evening. She may join us later if possible. That being said, we have several proclamations for the Borough of Highlands. Mayor, would you like me to read those into the record?
Yes, please do so, Matt.
Borough of Highlands proclamation recognizing May 16th to May 22nd as National Safe Boating Week in the Borough of Highlands. Whereas, for nearly 100 million Americans, boating continues to be a popular recreational activity, including boating, sailing, paddling, and fishing. Whereas National Safe Boating Week is observed to bring attention to important life-saving tips for recreational boaters. And whereas on average 600 people die each year in boating-related accidents in the U.S., 77% of these are fatalities caused by drowning. And whereas the vast majority of these accidents are caused by human error or poor judgment, and not by the boat equipment or environmental factors. And whereas a significant number of boaters who lose their lives by drowning each year would be alive today had they worn their life jackets. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Highlands their support for the goals of the Safe Boating Campaign, and be it further proclaimed that the Borough of Highlands, a boating community, recognizes May 16th through 22nd in the year 2020 as National Safe Boating Week and the start of the year-round effort to promote safe boating, and the Mayor and Council urge all those who boat to practice safe boating habits and wear a life jacket at all times while boating. Done this 20th day of May, 2020. Under the seal of the hand of Carolyn Briand, Mayor of the Borough of Highlands, with the members of Council, Rosemary Ryan, Council President, Kenneth Braswell, Linda Mazzola, and Cody Valkos. Next we have Borough of Highlands Proclamation recognizing May 17th to May 23rd as National Public Works Week in the Borough of Highlands. I'm very proud to read this. Whereas public works services provided in the Borough of Highlands are an integral part of our residents' everyday lives. And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of the Borough of Highlands greatly depends on the facilities and services maintained and performed by the Borough of Highlands Department of Public Works. Whereas the Department of Public Works answers calls day and night, often in working in inclement weather and under difficult conditions to improve the infrastructure and improve the lives of the borough residents. And whereas during this difficult time as we face the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, it is important that all Highlanders recognize Public Works and the excellent work that they do in keeping our community operating clean and safe. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Highlands that the week of May 17th to May 23rd, 2020 is recognized as National Public Works Week, and be it further proclaimed, the Borough of Highlands extends its deepest gratitude to the members of the Borough of Highlands Department of Public Works for all they do in maintaining the borough in a manner which makes its citizens proud. For all you do, we thank you. Done this 20th day of May, 2020, under my hand, Carolyn Briand, Mayor and Borough of Highlands. Members of Borough Council, Rosemary Ryan, Council President, Kenneth Braswell, Linda Mazzola, and Cody Valkos. And finally, yes.
Matt, I just wanted to see, Dave Momo, are you on the call right now?
I am, yeah.
I just wanted to, on behalf of the borough, thank you and your department for all that you have done, especially during the pandemic, but also when it's not the pandemic. It's a great department that you have built. I'm proud to say that I have a great DPW department, street and roads department, sewer department. Thank you.
Here, here.
Thank you guys as well. We probably couldn't do it without the support and everything from council and administration to be able to do what we can do and accomplish in pretty much a short amount of time. And we really do take a lot of pride in what we do. And the guys have really put a lot of passion into their work and the way that the town looks and how we've made it look a lot better, we feel, in the past few years. So we appreciate it all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
And next, we also have a very important proclamation that I'm proud to read. Borough of Highlands Proclamation proclaiming May 17th to May 23rd, Emergency Medical Services Week in the Borough of Highlands. Whereas in 1974, President Gerald Ford authorized Emergency Medical Services Week to recognize the vital contribution emergency medical service workers make to our community. And whereas May 17th through May 23rd is recognized as National Emergency Medical Services Week for the year 2020, with each day representing a commitment to education, safety, educating children, saving lives, and with the last day being reserved for recognition of emergency medical service workers. And whereas never has this recognition been more warranted since the inception of the COVID-19 pandemic in the United States, these brave workers have demonstrated the highest example of compassion and heroism, some having laid down their lives as a direct result of carrying out their duties. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Highlands that the week of May 17th through May 23rd in the year 2020 is proclaimed as Emergency Medical Services Week in the Borough of Highlands, and be it further resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Highlands, on behalf of its citizens, expresses its deepest gratitude and respect in recognition of the Borough of Highlands First Aid Squad and emergency medical services workers everywhere for their commitment, compassion, and bravery, especially those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. We sincerely thank you. Done this 20th day of May 2020 under my hand, Carolyn Briand, Mayor of the Borough of Highlands, Member of Borough Council, Rosemary Ryan, Council President, Kenneth Braswell, Linda Mazzola, and a member of our First Aid Squad, Council Member Cody Valkos. Thank you. Next we have...
Before we,
Oh, I'm sorry, Mayor, please.
hang on, Matt, today I just want to recognize that today is the 10th anniversary that one of our former First Aid Squad members, Ray Vargas, has been cancer-free for 10 years today, and we salute him. Please continue, Matt.
And thank you for the first aid squad workers, especially during this time. Wow. Anybody else want to comment on that before I continue?
This is Kim. I know I'm not mayor and council, but I do want to thank the first aid squad. I've been in EMS for more than 20 years, and I know the hard work and dedication it takes to volunteer and get out there at any time, especially a time like this. So even though we acknowledge them during the pandemic, know that they are always putting their lives at risk and their own health and their family. So I just do want to thank everyone who volunteers, whether you're a writing member or not a writing member, it's all appreciated.
Next, we have ordinances, public hearing and final adoption of ordinance O20-13. An ordinance designated restricted parking in front of a residence occupied by a person with disabilities. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
It is a public meeting, so we have to ask if there is any questions
Thank you very much,
or
Mayor.
comments from the public.
Thank you very much, Mayor. My apology. We do have to have a hearing on it. That is correct.
Are there any questions from the public?
This is for 121 Waterwitch.
Okay, seeing that no one has any questions, I'm going to close public portion. Matt, please continue.
Does any member of
I will
council?
make the offer.
Does any member of council have any comment? No. Okay. Mayor Bruyon has offered. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Ken.
Ken Braswell second. I'll now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan is absent. Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Bruyon.
Yes.
So ordered. Next, we have Resolution R2128, a resolution amending Resolution R20-81, approving 2020 events on various borough properties. I may have a motion on this. Do I have any motions?
Yes, I will make the motion to accept this. I also would like to explain to the public at large that the borough administrator is going to be working with the president of the business partnership, Mr. Chief Cosgrove, to fine-tune any and all details as to how we can safely put on this market. They did send a document a little bit too late today for everyone to review, but with 3 weeks after, plenty of time to smooth out any of the issues, to supply on. And I will say, and the OEM are on this plan to open up the market early.
And I would like to make a motion to table this resolution because.
Okay, but I've already made the motion to accept, so that needs action.
I do have a motion, but if there's any debate, then we should do debate before motions.
Thank you. I would like to table this for the reason being that we received a 10-page document in reference to these farmers markets that, because of the pandemic right now, have enormous requirements in order to withhold and in order to keep public safe and healthy. We have not had the opportunity to review this document since we received it 40 minutes prior to this meeting. And our administrator has not had the opportunity to review this document. And I think that because this is has to do absolutely with the health and safety of the residents of this town, and with all the other actions that we have taken to try and keep everybody healthy and safe, that it should be tabled to the next meeting so we can do our due diligence to be sure that this is something that actually can move forward in a manner that the administrator and the staff of this town are comfortable with.
And that, I will also add that from the day that this pandemic went wild in New Jersey, this has always been, the farmer's market has always been approved by the governor of the state. There are certain guidelines by the state that need to be met, and those will be met. Again, the administrator will work with all items on that. And if somebody is on this call that is not speaking, you need to mute your phone.
I firmly believe that there are certain discussions previously where this particular plan should have been provided before tonight. And quite frankly, I feel that it's putting the council under duress to make this decision, and there will be no harm done in postponing it for another couple of weeks, since we are in the middle of a pandemic and the health and safety of the residents of this town should be paramount. Whether this is an essential service or not is not the question. And quite frankly, originally this farmers market was to begin at the end of June, and I do not see the problem with waiting for that to make sure that all the health requirements absolutely can be met, and that the employees of this town can help to fulfill the requirements.
And they want them to approve it, so when this is, I said we table it to the next meeting.
If members of the public can please mute their phones, I would appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to, I am in favor of farmers market. Just want to make that very clear, but I'm also going to vote to table this until the 3rd.
I'm
Okay.
also in favor of farmers markets. I just want to make sure it's being done safely and properly. That's on the record.
Okay, and I also want to put this on the record that this can happen concurrently. We have 3.5 weeks for the administrator to work with Mr. Cosgrove.
We've already moved to table it, Carolyn.
Well,
That's not the motion that was on the table.
Just a point of clarification, I have a main motion to approve. If that motion fails, then the motion to be tabled will be considered.
So, I just have to.
I'll make a couple of comments. I'm in favor.
I don't think you can, Ken. I don't think you can make any comments. Brian?
Why not?
You're going to ultimately abstain from the vote.
Right.
I am? Oh,
From
That
the
is
vote,
correct.
all right.
abstain.
All right.
It's very hard to hear because people's phones aren't muted.
Ken, you were going to make a comment?
Brian says that I shouldn't. I could comment on a couple of facts on some reports that have been come out about the virus that I think make a farmer's market less of an issue.
I think it would be germane to the main motion, though, and I don't necessarily know that debate from someone who's abstaining is allowed.
I don't know.
I'll defer to Mr. Chabarak on that.
It's up to Brian whether I should say anything or not.
I think the safer course is for you to abstain unless you're talking in general terms of the virus, etc.
But not as it relates to a farmer's market.
Yeah.
Seeing no more
Right.
debate,
So I should,
I have a main motion on the floor to approve. Do I have a second for that motion?
Fail.
The motion fails. I have a motion now to table. Do I have a second for a motion to table?
I'll second.
I have a
Is it,
primary
kind of
motion.
all of it, isn't it?
wait, is it the table to June 3rd?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Brian. I have a motion by Councilmember Mazzola. I have a second by Councilmember Valco. So I will now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell has to abstain. I have Councilmember Mazzola.
This is
Yes.
on the motion to table to June 3rd.
This is a
Table.
motion to table
Yes.
to June 3rd,
Yes.
correct. Councilmember Ryan is absent. Councilmember Valcos.
Yes.
Councilmember Valcos votes in the affirmative to table to June 3rd. Mayor Brion.
No.
Mayor Brion votes against. I have a 2-to-1 vote, which means that the motion
Please leave your message for
motion
Gonzalez.
to table
Matt,
the motion to table
Matt,
passes.
couldn't hear you.
Yeah, the motion to table passes until June 3rd.
Correct.
So-
So it's now tabled to June 3rd.
It has been tabled to June 3rd. Next, we have Resolution
Correct.
R20-129, a resolution rescinding Resolution R20-125 and authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for construction work for the Bayside Drive slope improvements. Does anybody want to comment on this?
This is for the work that's being done above King Street. And our original awarded contractor, due to COVID, couldn't get a crew together. So that's what we had to award this emergency contract to the next lowest bidder. And with that, I will offer.
Mayor Brion offers. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Councilmember Mazzola seconds. I will now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan is absent. Councilmember Valcos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. Resolution R20-129 passes. Next, we have Resolution R20-130, a resolution of the Borough of Highlands supporting the enactment of Assembly Bill number 3971 and Senate Bill number 2475 to authorize the issuance of coronavirus relief bonds by municipalities and councils and counties.
I'll offer it.
I have an offer by Mayor Brion.
I'll second.
I have a second by
I'll
Councilmember
second.
Councilmember Braswell. I will now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan is absent. Councilmember Valcos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. Resolution R20-130 passes. Next, we have Resolution R20-131, a resolution authorizing an amendment to the 2020 temporary budget. Did the administrator or the CFO want to comment on this? Does anybody else want to
I'm
comment?
having a problem. Can you repeat, please?
This is for the temporary budget. Did you want to make a comment on the temporary budget, ma'am?
A comment? Well, the only thing is that, as everybody
your
knows,
recording has reached the maximum length. To replay your message, press 1. To delete and re-record your message, press 3. For delivery options, press 4. To send a fax, press 6. To cancel this message, press star. To send this message now, press pound or hang up. Message canceled. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
Okay, continuing, please.
Sorry, guys. This is Kim. Somebody was calling my borough cell phone, which I'm using for this call, and it automatically lets you listen to my voicemail.
Yes, it was,
So I just wanted, the temporary budget, I just wanted to explain, I don't know if you're even past this point. I wanted to explain that you only can be a year with a quarter of your budget, and then to continue to function, we have to appropriate more money as the money gets expended. We did not adopt our budget yet, so that's why we have to amend the temporary budget. And with this, we are spending money, so it is the need to amend the temporary budget.
With that, do I have an offer?
I'll offer it.
I have an offer to approve the amended temporary budget. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilmember Mazzola seconds. I will now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan is absent. Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
And Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. The amendment to the temporary budget passes. Next, we have Resolution R2132, a resolution authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for design engineering services in connection with the 2018 New Jersey Department of Transportation Safe Routes to School grant. Is there any comment on this?
First, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Seventh whereas clause, second line, replace Mazer Consulting with Greenman Peterson Inc. And on the 1, 2, 3, fourth line, replace Mazer Consulting with Greenman Peterson Inc.
So any approval will be as amended. Green and Peterson Inc.
Correct.
We'll offer it as amended.
I have an offer by the mayor as amended. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Councilmember Valkos. I will now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan is absent. Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. The resolution for the grant funding for New Jersey Department of Transportation Safe Routes to School is passed. Next, we have Resolution R2133. This is a resolution of the Borough of Highlands approving proposed design changes to the municipal building by Settembrino Architects.
In the now therefore be it resolved clause, replace the date of May 20th, 2020 with April 21, 2020.
This will be
I will
as...
offer it as amended.
Thank you. Mayor Brion offers as amended. Do I have a second?
All right, so we'll get going in a couple minutes. The town council meeting is taking.
I'll second.
I have a second by Councilmember Valkos. Do I have I will now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan is not here tonight. Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
The new design is approved. Thank you very much. Next, we have Resolution R2134, a resolution authorizing the mayor and borough clerk to execute the Municipal Coronavirus Relief Fund Program reimbursement agreement with Monmouth County. Any comment on this?
Yes, let me briefly describe it. What this is the New Jersey CARES Fund, and specifically, folks, you really need to mute your phone. The New Jersey CARES Act, what it does is it gives reimbursement for COVID-19 related expenses. And those will be given to us by the county. We will submit to them very much like how we've submitted for storms to FEMA. That said, I will offer it.
I have an offer by Mayor Brion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Councilmember Braswell, and I'll call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan will be absent. Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. We also have a late edition of another agenda item. This is Resolution R2135. This is a resolution extending a temporary street closure until June 3rd, 2020.
Matt,
I'll offer it.
I think Mr. Chabarak wanted to make a comment.
Matt, we need to read it. So, whereas a request has been received for the closing of a portion of Washington Avenue Marine Place to conduct repairs on the surrounding bulkhead and marina property. Whereas the portions of said road subject to closure have been identified in the attached road closure plan. Whereas the Chief of Police has approved such request. Whereas by way of Resolution R2121, a temporary street closure was permitted until May 20th, 2020. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and Council hereby approve the request for the closing of a portion of Washington Avenue and Marine to allow for work to be performed in accordance with the agreement of May 2017, effective immediately until June 3rd, 2020. Be it further resolved that any damage caused to the Borough Road will be repaired to the satisfaction of the Borough Engineer. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution certified by the Borough Clerk to be a true copy be forwarded to the Chief of Police.
That being said, do I have a motion? I have an offer by Mayor Brion. Do I have a second? I have a second by Councilmember.
I'll second.
I'm sorry. Okay, I have a second by Councilmember. I didn't know if it was Ken Braswell or not. I'm sorry. I do have a second by Ken Braswell. Councilmember Braswell. Now I'll call the roll.
Yes.
Okay, Councilmember Braswell, your vote.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan is absent. Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. Next, we are moving on to other business. I'll turn the meeting over to you, Your Honor. And first on the list is events.
Events, Kim, do you want to speak to this?
Sure, I will. Good evening, everyone. I want to thank everyone for taking their time out tonight for the public meeting for the Borough of Highlands. With the pandemic, I know that the borough has previously passed resolutions, and the borough themselves have planned events for the borough. Each day, things are changing, numbers are changing, executive orders are changing. And I feel as though it's in the borough's best interest if we begin to start setting timelines and dates when it comes to borough events. We've been canceling things as they come up. As everyone gets my message from my emails, I'm posting dates that things are canceled until. At this point, I would ask that the council agree with postponing any events for the month of June and not having any public events that were planned, being that there are logistics when it comes to events. So even if there is a full open within the month of June, it doesn't give the borough enough of time to ensure that we have everything set up. Right now, we are, the mayor, council president, and I have all been working on our parks and beaches, and we will come to a conclusion hopefully by the end of the week and post signage that's needed. But when it comes to the actual events, I don't feel as though we will be prepared enough while operating on skeleton crew, because we still are on modified schedule. And with that, I would suggest that we do continue modified schedule for the month of June, being that we need to ensure that the public is safe and that the workers are safe, and that we need to continue government since it cannot stop. That's all.
Thank you, Kim. You have our support.
Thank you. I will give the employees notice, and I will post the same on the borough website and social media.
Next is discussion about the farmers market.
Well, I think we talked about the farmer's market enough earlier. I don't think there's anything left to say. We're going to spend the next couple of weeks ironing it all out.
Next, we have.
So we're going to go
Oops,
to
sorry.
the
Thank you.
to-go
Thank you.
alcohol containers.
Thank you, Mayor.
Kim, what? You got it. You want to start off with that, Kim?
Do I want to start off with the farmer's market?
No, I think we've discussed enough. Can we go to the no alcohol containers?
Yes. If you can go to alcohol containers, the mayor, I think, will be able to speak on what we have been discussing.
Okay. We have been talking about, over this past weekend, as everyone knows, the weather was great, and we had a lot of visitors, which is great and not great. A lot of the bars and restaurants have been given the blessing by the governor to start selling mixed drinks. But over the weekend, we have found a lot of those to-go containers have been found in our beaches and parks. They're not just that, but there's been a lot of bottles of beer and White Claw and the ever-dreaded Fireball bottles, bottles of everything. Everyone's been in the parks, just behaving badly. There's two laws that are being broken here by people drinking in public. There's the open container law, and then there's also littering, which they are littering on the beach, they're littering in the parks, and so our police have to remain ever vigilant. We cannot treat restaurants and bars any differently than we would treat a liquor store. It is not the restaurant or the bar that is breaking the law. It is the resident or the visitor who is going to these establishments and purchasing these alcoholic beverages, then taking them to borough property and breaking the law by drinking in public. Our police officers have so much going on right now. The last thing they need is this added responsibility on top of the general health and welfare. It's like people just need to be responsible. If you want to go get yourself a sangria or a margarita or whatever mixed drink, go ahead and get that, but bring it home. Don't bring it to our beaches. Don't bring it to our parks. Don't litter. Be responsible. There's so much going on. Everyone needs to take a really big personal responsibility and do your part to help keep other people safe. And that's all I have to say on this subject. I leave it open to anyone else at the table.
You said it all.
Next, Mayor, we have.
Thank you. I do not believe we have reports because this is the second meeting. Reports are generally for the first meeting. Does anyone else at the table have anything that they would like to address to the public before we go to public portion?
I do not.
Okay. All right. So that said, Cody, do you have anything?
Were you talking to me? I'm sorry.
I said, Cody, do you have anything that you want to address to the public before we go to public portion?
No, I'm good.
Okay. You're good?
Mayor, do you want me to speak on anything before public or after?
Absolutely. Anything that you want to say it now, and then we'll go to public portion.
Forever hold my peace. So I do want to let everyone know that you will see construction will be moving forward in the borough. There is some work that will be done on Bayside Drive commencing next week, probably Thursday or Friday. So when you see equipment, it is to not open up the closed Bayside Drive. It's to mitigate some of a slope issue that was happening with water runoff. So I just want to ensure all the residents that we do know what is going on. It happens to be one of the resolutions that we're on tonight. There also will be work that is being done in the Captain's Cove area, that will be continuing as well, and there will be street closure. That also is a resolution that was passed tonight. That's more or less it for me. Please keep up with the borough website. We do post all of the daily updates on the website. We also will be updating the website. I'm working on that right now with someone to redo the website to make it a little bit more user-friendly. That's in the near future, I'm hoping. There also is going to be, we're trying to set up some Zoom classes through the community center and the recreation center. That will also be posted on the website. When summer registration for summer camp is open, you can register on League apps. The only thing right now is, like I said before, is that day to day things are changing. We do not have a date for summer camp to start. There is always that possibility that we might not be able to offer it. We just don't know right now. And I know that that is tough for a lot of residents to not know what they're going to do with their children. Believe me, I get it. I have 3 that I have to figure out what I'm going to do with as well. They enjoy the camp every year. But we have to ensure that everyone is safe, our workers, the residents, and the children. And that's all I have right now. And I'll answer any questions from the public or council.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez.
Actually, can I,
And
real quick?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Comms committee update. We are working on a new campaign called Hey Highlands, where we will be interviewing different people in the town and then posting the videos. So be on the lookout for those, kind of take your mind off of everything that's going on. And obviously all the other things that we've discussed, which is updating the website. So be on the lookout for those videos. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Cody. If no one has anything else, I'd like to open it up to the public. If you could, if anyone has a comment, unmute your phone and please have your name and address for the record and go.
Claudette Dorigo, 12 Seadrift Avenue. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Please proceed.
Okay. A few months ago, this is directed to Carolyn. When you were a council member, I had requested your phone records between yourself and the HBP office and the president. I was denied access to those phone logs. Upon research, I discovered that I was denied access to those records due to the fact that you had registered your official borough phone that you use in the capacity as mayor now under your wife's name, Donna Bassinger, which effectively blocks the public from access through the Open Public Records Act to your public phone records. I'm asking that the town official and council give the mayor a phone number that the public can have access to her records through normal Oprah requests. Is there a problem doing that? Hello?
I am here. Brian, do you have the state statute regarding using the phone?
I will take it under advisement. I'd have to see if was there an Oprah request served, what the response was, but we will take a look
The
at it.
response was I was denied because that was a personal phone.
When was the request made? When was the request made?
The request was made at the end of last year.
Okay, I'll look into it.
And I came to a council meeting and I asked why, and I was told it was a personal phone. And I re-requested the records, and I think I discussed this with you at a council meeting, that I had consulted with an Oprah attorney, and I did exactly what he told me to do, and I was again denied access. I was only asking for the phone calls between Councilmember Boulon at the time and the HBP president and the HBP office. I was denied those records.
I I cannot answer your question in a vacuum. If you served an open request and there was a response provided, the response would have specified the reason. I will take a second look at it.
Okay, and then I will re-request those same records. But if the mayor is using a phone that's registered under a personal account and the public does not have access to the mayor's records, phone records, that's not right. The public is allowed through the Open Public Records Act to request phone calls that the mayor is making on her official phone.
There's not necessarily a requirement that she be furnished with a borough phone, but as I said, I have to take a look at what the request was, what the response was, but you have to allow me to take a look at what was done. I can't answer questions in a vacuum.
Okay, I will, if you'd like, I'll find the requests and the denials, and I'll try to email them to the council to forward to you.
I'm sure you got the response from the borough clerk, correct?
Yes.
You got a written, okay,
Yes.
okay, so we can easily get it too. You know, you don't have to go through all that trouble. I'm sure we can get that.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a second question. Is there a valid reason why these meetings cannot be either Zoom or Google video so we can observe the council members? There seems to be, I mean, everyone's doing it for work. Why are we, this is such a poor system. You cannot hear. There's interference all the time. We're a town, this is an official meeting. Every other town is either Zooming or Google videoing, and we're doing something where you call in and you can't even decipher what is being said by the council member.
You want me to handle that? Mayor, do you want to,
I want to know who's got the 30-day money back guarantee.
Well, that's exactly what I'm referring to. This wouldn't happen if we did it just right.
People don't mute. Whether you are on a video call or you're on an audio call, if you don't mute your phone, I was on the phone with the county yesterday, and all I heard was a dog barking from somebody. Somebody didn't mute their phone, and the dog's barking, and the county the freeholder is trying to talk, and you can't hear anything because the dog's barking. So it just takes everybody's effort.
I think it's prudent for the public to be able to see the council members as they're holding a meeting. I don't see every business in the world is able to do it now. You're supposed to be a great communications person, marketing person. I don't understand why you have not directed the town to set up a Zoom or set up a Google video so that the members of the public can observe the meeting. This is your forte, or that's what you told us.
And I have, and we will have some sort, whether it's WebEx or Zoom, up and running for the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a comment or a question?
Yeah, Kevin Cudahy, 223 Marina Drive. There's two things that I wanted to discuss tonight. The first is I wanted to thank the town, in particular the council, for your rapid response in implementing policies and helping small businesses in town. And then second, I had a question about the oath of office that you all take and how interacting with the public falls within that oath. For example, does issuing threats against constituents fall within that oath? Because on May 5th, around 3:30 in the afternoon, Councilwoman Mazzola, my neighbor in our condominium association, threatened to poison my dog for peeing a least distance from the curb on the association's yard adjacent to Councilwoman Mazzola's unit. I was shocked the person would speak to a neighbor that way, but as town councilwoman who represents our town, I was shocked that she would speak to someone in the town that way. So I was curious how, I know you have a constitutional duty to uphold your office, but I was curious how what kind of ethical requirements in dealing with the public there are.
We don't give legal advice to the public. I give legal advice to the mayor and council. they certainly sign an oath of office to uphold the Constitution. But council members are also residents too. So I'm not going to give legal advice to a member of the public.
I'm sorry, I'm not looking for legal advice. I just wanted to address the comment that the councilwoman made and how it falls within her oath of office. So, I don't know, as I'm a teacher, so I know that if I spoke to someone in the community that I teach in that way, it would be a big issue and it would be addressed at a Board of Education meeting. So I was curious how a town councilwoman who speaks to the community that way, how that would be addressed, by the public.
Yeah, you gotta hear this asshole. I said, you gotta hear this asshole too. I don't know.
Okay, please do not curse on the phone. We can hear you cursing, and please mute your phone. We can also hear the TV in the background. Pretty please. I am respectfully requesting. Please do not curse over the phone, and please, once again, please mute your phone. We can hear the TV in the background.
I'm going to again reiterate that you are.
Brian, so, sir, can you just give me your name? I have you down as 223 Marina Drive. What is your name again?
Kevin Cudahy, Cuddihy.
That's Kevin. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Brian.
Regardless of the way you're asking the question, the answer is the same. I'm not giving legal advice to a member of the public. You certainly can explore whatever avenues you want. A council member obviously takes an oath of office and a constitutional oath of office to uphold the Constitution, but council members are residents too. So whatever happens outside the confines of being a council member, so be it. I'm not giving legal advice to the public. You're just asking the same question in a different manner. And I'd also caution Council Member Mazzola to not respond to you.
Kevin, are you good with that answer?
It's fine for now. Thank you. I appreciate you responding to my comments.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep.
And for anyone that's not speaking, you need to mute your phone. Does anyone else have a comment or a question at this time?
Mayor Brian? Mayor Brian, this is Chris Francie.
Hello, Mr. Francie.
Hey, 36 Fifth Street. And just quickly tagging on Claudette, the Zoom and Microsoft Team, the moderator controls whether the microphone is on or not. Matt can control it. It's very, very frustrating listening to the guy's TV and cursing. Go to Zoom, and you have complete control of that. But that's not why I'm calling. That's not why I'm calling.
We know that, but the demand on all of these platforms, whether it be Zoom, Google Teams, everybody is doing it. And in order to get a professional account, it's a lot. There's a little extra hurdles that have to be done to get a professional government account other than just a personal account.
I'll give you my account. You can use mine. I'm all set up.
So am I. I'm set up with all of them. But we have to do things the right way, as you know from being a former councilman. We have to do things the right way, and we have to get reimbursed in the right way. So we're doing it the right way. It'll be up and running for the June 3rd meeting. So please go ahead with your next comment.
My question, though. My question is about Captain's Cove. At this point, there's a lot of work going on. And at this point, the situation is confusing. It's not clear whether the work is going on under the redevelopment agreement. It's not clear as to whether the work is going on with a goal towards reopening the marina to deal with the bulkhead deficiencies that were pointed out, 2 years ago, before you pulled the mercantile?
Do you want to see these one at a time?
Mr. Francie?
Yes, please.
Okay, so there is an agreement in place that you referenced correctly in 2017. So the work that is being performed is supposed to be in conformance with that agreement to fix the bulkhead. And you correctly pointed out that the mercantile was revoked for not conforming with that agreement. It's my understanding that they are trying now to accomplish that goal with the goal of reopening the marina when that's completed. That's the first part of your question. The second part is there has not been a developer designated as a master redeveloper. So it is not part of the redevelopment yet. Does that answer your questions on that?
But it raises another question. The demolition of the cafe, that work was permitted under the redevelopment agreement? It
No.
is not permitted, yes.
It was not
It's
under
not
the redevelopment agreement, and I think it was addressed by, I'm not sure if it was addressed by zoning or but it was part of the overall agreement to fix the bulkhead.
Okay, and I guess overall, is the property still under a redevelopment plan?
Yeah, it is designated as an area in need of redevelopment. The redevelopment plan is now the zoning for that particular parcel. It superseded any prior zoning. So the redevelopment plan constitutes the current zoning. But
Correct.
But there has not been a developer designated as the redeveloper. So, and the property owner doesn't have standing to be the redeveloper until the borough designates a particular individual, whether it be a private developer, a contract purchaser, whoever that is.
But it could be him too.
Be him, the individual who's correcting the.
Well, I mean, Fred could become the developer if the town appoints him. So, but anyway, that's not.
Yes, they'd have to approve it.
They'd have to approve it. Yes, all right. But the engineering report dealt with a fair amount of the bulkhead that had to get repaired. And are there plans to do that work?
To finish the bulkhead?
What I'm hearing is no one's quite sure what he's doing. So how can engineering?
The borough engineer is intimately familiar because he's there on site and he has had regular communications with him.
So at this point, he's moving forward towards reopening. This is not no longer a sale.
I can't answer for him, but it's not. There's another individual who's a tenant who's actually performing the repairs.
Okay, I guess everybody's a little frustrated. Dealing with Fred is like dealing with a slippery eel that just came out of the water. I mean, he's hard to pin down.
Well, keep in mind that they still don't have a mercantile license.
And what are the conditions? That would be a fair question, I think. What are the conditions for him to get a mercantile?
I think
what does he have to meet?
He makes an application, and then that's up to the borough administration, subject to an appeal to the council. But he hasn't submitted a new application, and I think that he wants to complete the repair to the bulkhead before he does that. Because as you know, we've had numerous hearings before the council on revoking the license in the past because the repairs weren't done in conformance with the plans.
And I guess that's the key at this point. Are the repairs going to be done according to our satisfaction going forward? And
that's why the engineer is doing the inspections and is ultimately going to do the final inspection.
I'm sorry, Carolyn, you said...
The engineer has been doing all of the inspections to make sure that all of the work is being done according to the agreed upon plan from 2017. If there's any deviation, their engineer and architect needs to submit any changes, and that has to be approved by our engineer.
Okay. It's wrong. I'm nervous, but maybe that's me. I mean, I've been dealing with Fred for 15 years. He's gotten the best of me and many other council people, And at this point, we gave him what he wanted. That is, we changed the zoning so it was technically a saleable property, so that it wasn't a non-conforming use. And everybody understood that's what his plans were, to sell it. At this point, it's not clear. What I'm hearing Brian say, and I'm not sure if I'm reading into it too much, is a tenant who ultimately will become the owner. Is that what I'm hearing, Brian?
May. I can't. That's the deal between two private entities.
I understand.
He may become the owner, but that's the deal between two private owners. He may or may not be designated as a redeveloper. That's up to the council. But I think they're going to take it one step at a time and see how he completes the repairs first.
On the good side, they seem to be committed. They do have more resources throwing at the project than Fred ever did. So that's the good side. So.
And this evening there was a resolution extending the period of time to allow him to keep equipment on site to go forth and continue with the repairs.
Right. I mean, you are dealing with a situation where the upland side on Cheerful has far more equipment on that neighbors were. That was one of the main points against Fred. He had this stuff here. It wasn't related to a marina. So, I mean, I'm not sure how long do you think this is going on?
The continuous repairs?
Yeah.
I don't think, I don't have a crystal ball, but I've heard end of June, but that's what we heard. I don't have a crystal ball though.
I hear you, Brian. Thank you.
And Chris, you also have to realize that there are work teams that are out there that could have been promised to do work, and maybe they've got the virus, and now they can't do the work. So we live in a very bizarre time right now, where it was originally this guy Jeff's original intent to be done by May 31, but that's obviously not going to happen. I think he'd be lucky to get his repairs done by the end of June.
And to be quite honest, his timeline is not a concern to me. It is the quality of the bulkhead that's the result of the work. There were significant deficiencies, and they're not working on the sections that we found deficient.
Well, they're working on four separate sections, so they're doing it one step at a time. And again, the engineer is involved until every step of the way.
More power to them.
Thank you, Chris.
That's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go to Zoom. Zoom.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Does anyone from the public have a question or comment?
Yes, this is Carol Bucko, 330 Shore Drive. I don't know if you can hear me. Because
I can hear you.
My phone. Oh, good, because I muted my phone and I couldn't figure out how to unmute it. So I guess I can figure it out. Okay, I have two questions. Resolution 129, the Bayside Drive stuff. Are we sure that property that you're shoring up belongs to the Borough of Highlands? Because, most of that slope there belongs to the county.
Yes, that property is ours. It's between King Street and East Point, so that means it's Highland.
Well, it's not necessarily, because the property in front of East Point belongs to the county.
Carol, it's Kim. How are you? I just, we did have a survey done. We did go by the survey of property ownership. We are not going outside borough property lines at all.
Okay. My second question is this the first revision by the architect for the Borough Hall? Resolution 133.
Yes, this is the first revision of the outside of the building that is not a revision due to recommendation from the Administrative Office of the Court or the Department of Corrections.
Okay, the reason I'm asking is because I'm familiar with this architect, and he does a lot of revisions. That's how he gets the low price. And I'm just cautioning you on that. I don't know if it's true here, but we'll see. Now, I also caution you on approving all those events at the last public council meeting. And all but two of the events were things that the Highlands Business Partnership, or the BID, as it was referred to at that time, were involved in. Now, the farmers market, I think the farmers market's a great thing, but I do believe that the Highlands Business Partnership charges those farmers to come here, and therefore they should be paying us, the town. If that's true. I don't know if that's true. Silence reigns, and I'm getting wet. Nobody knows the answer?
Carol, there was that. Could you repeat your question? I don't know if it's a question for me or if it was for Mayor and Council.
Well, I think it's for everybody because you all voted, well, right now you haven't voted on this, but you did decide to let it ride till the next meeting. The Resolution 128, when we had the last public council meeting, I cautioned you all on the events that you permitted to take place. Because most of those events, with the exception of the parade, which is not going to take place, and my 96-year-old husband will miss it for the second time in his life, but nevertheless, all the other events involve the Highlands Business Partnership. And now, if they are collecting money from the farmers that come there to sell their produce, then the money should be paid to the town, not the Highlands Business Partnership. And I don't know who has the answer to that. I don't know where we could find the answer to that.
Carol, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, I don't know if you were on the call from the very beginning, but I'm going oh, awesome then. I'm going to suggest that our borough administrator reach out to Jace Cosgrove, who is the president of the Highlands Business Partnership. And while we're discussing how the farmers market is going to go off, they should also discuss what you just said.
Mm-hmm. And I also think that maybe the residents should have some idea as to what the position of the Highlands Business Partnership is. What is their job now that they're not the BID anymore? Now there's no business improvement district.
Just because they are just because they are not the district management corporation, they are still a state licensed 501c3 charitable organization. The business partnership as a business organization, just like a chamber of commerce, did not go away. They're still out there and they're helping the food pantries and they do whatever they do. And they help out as much as they can with the borough and with the borough. Again, there is no link by the borough collecting taxes because that only happens with a business improvement district. But the businesses are free to donate to the organization. Anybody's free to donate to any organization, as you may well know. But
yeah, but 501, excuse me, Carolyn, the 501c3 is supposed to be a nonprofit. And I'm not sure that the Highlands Business Partnership is run as a nonprofit because nobody can ever find out anything about them.
Is the Red nonprofit? Is the Red Cross run as a nonprofit? Is, all of these other outfits that are out there that pay their CEOs millions of dollars, are they nonprofits?
I don't
They
know
are
anything
non-profit.
about the Red Cross.
Okay. I'm just saying, it's a discussion that can happen.
I just think that, they're doing a lot of things and the town is trying to do a lot of things. And so therefore it's sort of a competition. And if they're raising money through this, farmer's market, then the town should also be apportioned some of that money. I don't know. I'm just asking. You're the council. You're supposed to find out.
Absolutely. And like I said, we will.
Okay.
We absolutely will. And like I said, Kim, our administrator has a great relationship with Jay Cosgrove. They will work all of this stuff out and we'll report back.
Okay. Just
All
trying to
right.
make money for the town.
Hey, me too.
Okay.
Thank you,
I'm
Carol.
finished.
You got it. Anyone else?
This is Kim Scorpion. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay. I want to.
hear you.
Okay, fantastic. Kim Skorka, Shore Drive. I want to thank you for doing something better than this phone call. I just had to call back in because I've been trying since you started public portion to get a word in, and nobody can hear me. And I think this happened to somebody else in a prior meeting, so this phone system is not working. I also would like to suggest to people using headphones or earbuds. That will help cut down on the echo when your mic is actually live. I want to speak to the business partnership and the request to move the date for the farmers market. From my understanding, they still have not provided the borough accountant with the financials from 2019 that they were supposed to do as per a resolution last year. And until they provide the borough with their financials as required, none of their requests to the borough should be entertained at all, period. The business partnership continues to say they have nothing to hide, and there should be no issue turning over their financials. Let me just check my notes here.
Wait, you want me to answer that before you go to the next question?
Sure, if you'd like to.
Absolutely. There was a disconnect in the understanding because if the business partnership, the 501c3 organization were to have been disbanded, then there would have been an audit of assets. But because the 50C3 remains, there was no disbanding of the organization. Therefore, there was no audit of assets. And that is New Jersey state law. But go on with your next question.
Okay, I understand that's New Jersey state law. However, they used tax dollars to purchase some of those assets while they were in business over the decades. And I think it's only right that assets purchased with tax dollars be returned to the borough. But we can discuss that offline. I just want to state that there are...
Those were not residential tax dollars.
They were business tax dollars. They were business tax dollars.
The businesses agreed to go into this partnership many years ago, and that's how that happened. Now that it's disbanded, the businesses aren't paying into it through taxes. They are making voluntary donations.
Businesses paid taxes to the business partnership for decades, and I'm sure there are some assets that were purchased with those business tax dollars. But again, I have other things I would like to discuss, and this is just going to keep going in circles.
Go ahead. But anything else offline, always.
Yep. I looked back for prior minutes to the meetings, and there are no minutes posted online since the first meeting of December 2019. And I also want to let you know that the agenda was not posted until almost 6 o'clock tonight. My interpretation of the Sunshine Law, and I will admit I am no attorney, I don't get the legalese, especially government legalese, but my interpretation is that the agenda, as it is 48 hours before the meeting, needs to be posted.
Now, perhaps it was available at Borough Trailer, but during this coronavirus, I don't think the public wants to be wandering in and out of Borough Trailer, and I don't think the borough wants us wandering in and out looking for paper copies of an agenda 2 days before the meeting. So it would seem most logical that the agenda, as it is ready and prepared as of Tuesday, I understand there's edits. There was an edit between 5:50 and 8 o'clock tonight. As we saw, there was a resolution added. So I'd like to know why it's taking so long for these agendas to get to us.
Kim, you want to take this question?
Do I want to answer Kim Skorker for why the agendas are taking so long?
Absolutely.
I can't exactly say why they're taking so long to get to the public, but I can say that for next meeting, I have asked the agenda is given to the mayor and council by Thursday and put out for the public Friday, even if it's as a draft, so people are aware of what's going to be on the agenda, because most of it is work in progress. We've already started the next agenda already, right, for next meeting. But there always could be amendments and add-ons because there are last-minute items that happen. Not needing to, but it does happen.
But doesn't the mayor control when the agenda is finalized, and doesn't the mayor control what's posted on the website?
No, the mayor does control those things.
Yes.
I do.
So what I have asked for, Kim Skorka, is that for the agenda to be reviewed by mayor and council on the Wednesday prior, and then of course there's going to be changes, but then whatever has been approved at that point in time gets posted on Friday before a meeting. Of course changes are going to happen. Just like today, things come up that things get added, and no one can plan for them because things just come up. You can't plan for everything. No one can plan for everything.
No, understood, but you've been mayor for 5 months, and the agendas have been getting posted later and later, and I just figured you would have been on top of this, given all the years that you campaigned on communications and getting information out to the residents. I'm just surprised that you're not on top of this and getting the information out to us sooner.
Kim, I've been mayor for 5 months during a global pandemic. Can we all just breathe for a second? I'm sorry if you hear that squealing in the back, it's the kitten. But seriously, I've been trying my very best to keep a lot of stuff together to keep the wheels keep on turning. It's been very difficult. It's hard to govern when you're not allowed to be in the room with 1 or 2 people. So I think we've been doing a really great, and our staff has been doing an outstanding job.
Excuse me, I'd like to hear, this is Claudette Dorito, 12 Cedric. The agendas were not posted prior to the pandemic. They were not posted. They were not posted. January, February, March, and there was no COVID-19 at that time. So please not say that this is
If there is no order, we will stop the meeting. Kim Skorka has the floor. Stop having an outburst. Kim Skorka, please proceed.
Sure. You have multiple years of experience as a council member prior to becoming mayor. You understood the challenges of getting an agenda out, and you had 3 months before coronavirus spiked to actually get us the information. This has been an ongoing problem. There have been bigger issues. But tonight, to be sitting here waiting for an agenda and having to keep checking back, and not posted till like an hour before executive session starts, I just would have expected better. That's all. Thank you.
Can I just comment on that? This is Carol Bucko.
Go ahead, Carol, take the floor.
Okay. I just wanted to comment on that. When Bonnie was the clerk, we were told when we questioned it, or I was anyway, that it has to be approved by the mayor before it is published. So, and her reasoning was that Ricky didn't approve it any earlier. So if that's still the case, I mean, are you following in his footsteps, or are you going to take hold of the situation and get the agenda published on time? Some boroughs have 72-hour requirements.
This is the clerk.
Carol, I'm going to take charge of this right now.
What?
This is the clerk. There was a mistake with regard to the posting of the agenda for this past meeting. There was an oversight. It was corrected at the last minute. I do apologize for it. Anybody who ever needs an agenda or a meeting packet will feel free to email me at clerk@highlandsborough.org, and I'd be happy to forward a meeting agenda for any meeting that you want. That being said, I'll turn it back over to the mayor.
Okay, does anyone else have a question or a comment?
I do. Hi. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you please give us your name and address for the record?
Hi, yeah, it's Tricia Rivera, 31 Waterway. Just about the agenda, like, let's try and do a better job, please. That's all. That's all I want to say about that. And I'm glad we're doing Zoom because it's really hard to do this on these phone calls. So I wanted to bring up, I have a lot of things listening to this meeting, so I'm sorry if I'm a little long, but I'll try and make it short. The farmers market. Besides what the safety reasons and all of that, I mean, have we considered that there is now a shop across the street that has been trying to adapt their business model and is selling fresh produce and eggs and honey and kind of farmers market, retail products? Don't you think that having the farmers market is going to hurt that business now? I mean, I'd like you at least to consider that when you make your decision, because, that's a brick and mortar. And I think that it's important that we try and make them stay in business during the coronavirus. They're struggling enough as it is. And, I've been down, I'm talking about the Water Witch, obviously. I've been down there. They've got great fresh produce, eggs, honey, bread. I mean, I think that bringing the farmers market in every week is going to hurt that business. So I just would like you to think about that. I think it's important to think about that. Okay?
We will do.
Thank you. And then, the other reason I was going to say something about these meetings is that, I know you guys also discussed the changes to the Borough Hall. And, it'd be nice to see them. They're not really online. And, if it was Zoom, maybe you could have showed the public. So the public doesn't know even what's going to go up there now, because there were changes. Now, I know this is all difficult, but I mean, because of the coronavirus.
Tim, hang on 1 second. Tim, we can get those online, right? The renderings, the artwork?
The old ones are pulled down. The new ones are in the process of being put up. Now that you have the resolution for the design tonight, the new ones will go up on the site.
Okay,
So
and
if
do you think,
can
I mean,
my draft from the Department of Corrections, that should be fine, yes?
well, I mean, don't, and my other thing is, don't you think the public should maybe have some commenting on those changes, instead of just saying, here's, changes, we like it? Like, instead of I mean, look, I don't look at it every day, I'm downtown, but I'm thinking of the people around there should at least know what's going to be built there, don't you think? It's just an observation, and on my part, I would like to know what's being built around me, and have some sort of say if I like it or not.
I
I
understand what you're saying, and you recognize, Tricia, I'm
go
just
ahead,
telling
Carolyn.
you, just that you know, the people that have the absolute most say about how that building gets built is the Department of Corrections and the prosecutor's office, because there's a police department in there, and they make us go through a bazillion hoops. And so what we tried to do, and as Kim said, we're going to get that up on the website just as soon as we can. We tried to change the design so that it looks more in place with the residential setting of where it's being placed. So it'll fit in more and not stand out so much as a garage monstrosity. I think you'll be pleased with the design.
No, I understand that, and I know, and I listened to the meeting, and I heard you all loved it, and I'm sure it's a lovely building, but I'm just saying that, it would be nice to know what it looked like before anything's really, done with it. Just to,
right.
I mean, I'm sure there are
requirements,
but I'm talking about the exterior of it, which probably, is just really the, aesthetics of the building, just so people could, possibly, I think the public should know what our borough halls look like. And maybe have a little say.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And if we weren't at a time where public meetings are not allowed, and we are going to get the Zoom up, and that's going to be very helpful.
No, yes, I understand that. I'm just, you might want to consider having a little bit of a public hearing or something, maybe a town hall about what it's going to look like, again, about some people.
Absolutely. Once we get the Zoom up, we're definitely going to do that.
Hi, Trish, it's Kim Gonzalez. I just wanted to let you know, I'm hoping by Friday to have a dedicated link for the Borough Hall Municipal Building. That way the progress will be documented and be able to be followed through. But if you do go to our town hall meeting from late 2019, the building is on that slideshow, that PowerPoint presentation. But like I said, the plans themselves are not in a centralized link right now because of the changes. What the mayor, council, and myself have decided to do is to do a town hall, even if it is by Zoom, in the near future. We just have to get the final okay to the inside of the building from Department of Corrections and the AOC, which is the Administrative Office of the Court, because to make sure that there's not any other changes that have to happen before we, disclose that information.
Okay, because you guys were talking about brickwork and all of that, and I wasn't sure if you're talking about the interior or exterior of the building. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's the problem with these calls. But I understand. I'm not complaining. I know it's difficult, but we could do better. I just do think it'd be better for Zoom and all that too. Okay, I'm going to go on. Okay. I don't want to keep you forever, so I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Thank you. So does anyone else have any other questions or comments?
Wait, no. Yes, I'm not done. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're done. You got to give other people a chance too.
Excuse me? Carolyn?
I said we have to give everyone a chance. So what's your next one? Let's keep on going.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, let's talk about Captain Cove now. It sounds like it's the same thing over now. Someone else has just kind of changed a little hands, but it's the same scheme again. So, I don't understand. You rezoned it for redevelopment. I don't care if someone's leasing it. They knew when they leased it that there was a redevelopment plan on it. I don't understand how this is all happening again. This is another nightmare just happening again. And I don't think you should give him his mercantile license after this.
He's not going to get a mercantile license unless he makes repairs. And he's actually making repairs.
The repairs he's been supposed to be doing for about, I don't know how long. I can't even count. It's longer than 2 years. This is getting to be ridiculous. So he has someone, friend of his now doing it. It's the same nonsense over and over again. And he shouldn't, it's rezoned. Why are we ignoring the rezoning of it? It's rezoned.
I don't know what you're referring to as far as rezone. The redevelopment plan.
The redevelopment plan rezoned it, right?
Right,
Exactly.
but he also has an agreement in place with the borough from 2017 to repair that bulkhead. So
yes,
that's
correct.
what's being done. This has nothing to do with the redevelopment zone.
Well, no, it does have something to do. Yes. So he can fix this, but that doesn't mean he should get a mercantile license because it was rezoned. Now it's completely rezoned. Correct? It's a redevelopment.
The redevelopment plan covers
yes.
the zoning.
When you said when it was voted yes by the zoning board and it was voted yes by the council, it rezoned that property for the way it's supposed to be built in the redevelopment plan. So it sounds like this is some crazy scheme that we're letting them get away with again. To open that up again. And I just want to make that very clear. It's obvious what's going on. Like Mr. Francie said, we're being taken again. Okay? And then my last question is, Valley, the property near Valley, it's borough property, correct? Hello?
You mean the property on the side, in between Valley Bank and the condos?
Yeah, that's borough property?
No.
The borough doesn't own that property. Who owns that property?
Valley Bank.
Okay, so Valley is selling the property where there's going to be affordable
I have no
housing?
idea if there's any private transaction between Valley Bank and another private person. All I know is that that property does not belong to the Borough of Highlands.
Okay, but there was some sort of agreement that there would be the affordable housing in that area, correct?
No,
there was not.
There was no agreement at any time. That is not borough property.
Okay, all right. Because I heard someone's doing something on Bay Avenue, but they're going to put the affordable housing part of it on that piece of land, and I don't know why you're discussing it. If it's just private property, why are you discussing it in a public meeting?
Who's discussing it in a public meeting?
You know, I got to tell you, Carol, it's very, very irritable today. And
I'm not discussing any private anything at a public meeting. I am telling you that is not borough property. If any private person wants to make a private real estate deal, that has nothing to do with the borough, as that property is not borough property.
Okay, then why was it discussed at a meeting then?
Are you referring to the meeting that the economic development officer made a comment?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't think he was aware that it was not borough property.
Yeah, he was mistaken because he thought it was borough property and it is not borough property.
Even though the tax rolls or tax map says it's borough property, it is not, and it's going to be corrected.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
The whole time. Did the borough already sell it to Valley? Is that what happened?
Sorry?
I couldn't hear your question.
So the borough never owned that property ever. That was never a borough-owned property.
I can't go back to the title history for 100 years, but currently it is not owned by the borough.
Okay, all right. So then I'm going to bring up one more thing. My concern about anything being built over there is slope, which we're seeing obviously is happening on Bayside Drive. You look all along Shore Drive, it looks like a lot of those houses are really close to that slope. And you want to put something now right next to the slope again. build another building butting up to the slope. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. So if there's any zoning or any of that, you know, you need to think about that because that's a problem over there. That area, we got a lot of runoff coming down that hill. You all know that. But
We all know it. We're all over it, Tricia. Please believe me.
Okay. All right. I guess I'm done.
Thank you.
Fine.
Does anyone else have anything?
I just have one question about, this is Joanne Hughes on Barbary. I have a question about grants. With the coronavirus, there's all these community development block grants. Is Highlands planning on applying for any of those grants for redevelopment or helping, maybe with paving or buildings that need redevelopment?
Okay, you're using a lot of vernacular that is CDBG. It is a particular grant cycle that is only zoned for particular areas of town, and that's given to us by the county. You can only go for them every other year. Areas of redevelopment is a very entangled legal process. There are other grants out there for paving and for construction work. Believe me, we're looking at every grant that's ever been known to man and God. We're chasing it all, and we are going to make sure that we are looking at doing everything we possibly can with everything that's out there and to get resources from the county, the state, and the federal government.
So right now, do we have any applications for any grants that are in the works right now? Or that we're
Joanne?
Yes.
Joanne Gonzalez, how are you?
Hi, Kim.
I just wanted, so we just recently, at our last meeting, signed the agreement for CDBG with the county. That's in the process of being sent to the county, and they're processing that resolution. Until we get that formalized, we cannot be in any of the applications, which should be by May 30th, I believe it is, that they'll have everything done on their end, and then we will move forward if they open up CDBG funds for any of the areas that they would allow.
Okay, so there are things that are possibly in the works then.
Correct, yes.
You can't give any more details of what we would use the grant for?
Well, once it goes through I'm not sure if you know the department, the CDBG department over at the county, will then get in touch with our borough engineer, and they will follow through with the process. So we actually have an application that we're completing this week, and then CDBG will let us know if we have any qualifying areas.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Kim. Appreciate the information.
You got it.
Thank you, Joanne.
Sorry to speak again. I'm sorry. I have one more thing I have to say. 31 more lines. I just wanted to say thank you for everyone that put on Park Fest. That was really nice. It was hard doing it online, but I wanted to thank you. Okay? Thank you.
Thanks, Trish. Does anyone else have anything?
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
And you do.
I have a motion to adjourn from Mayor Braun. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Councilmember Mazzola. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All are in favor. We are adjourned at 9:41 p.m. Everyone have a wonderful night.
The leader has left.